things about the colors, you know. In life, a few things that matter, and it's your colors. Credit, integrity. It's the three most important things. Colors, credit, integrity. I kind of just want to just like address and talk about patience with life, patience with new artists, and how you kind of just need to overcome that. But before I kind of go into that, I kind of just want to just like, you know, just like also just like emphasize what it means by patience, because there are a lot of times that I always felt like, I remember when I was first coming up, like 18 or 19 or whatever, and I had a whole bunch of different artists I was working with at the time, and I, you know, every time we'll make some noise like on the underground level, I'm like, damn, like it's time for my artist to get signed, it's time for my artist to get signed, like why is it that we're not getting on? You know what I'm saying? Like I just couldn't find the answer to figure out why we're not getting on. I'm just like getting frustrated, and you just get closer and closer and closer to feel like maybe it's just not meant for me, you know? But for me, I always felt like that was just like the separation of just like winners and, not to say losers, but people that don't get what they want out of life, is they quit, you know? And the fighter's mentality is so important, because for me, I always took the idea of patience and tried to like hone it in and try to like get a different understanding of it, because with patience kind of it's encompassed with failure, and failure is encompassed with winning whenever it is that, like, you know, you figure out what the reason of the failure was, you know. So for example, if, you know, we're about to do a video shoot, right, and it's just me and my homies, and we have the camera and we're getting ready to shoot, and something goes wrong, like let's say, oh cool, like the cop says you have no permit here, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, all right, well, figure out a way to not quit on that moment, and to not take that, you know, this video shoot is getting shut down as we're just not supposed to do it, but figure out a way to like to finesse your way to get exactly what you need done. And also just like take a step back and, you know, recall and try to figure out, if something failed, what didn't we do right? You know what I'm saying? And understand that it's okay to fail. It's okay. Honestly, for the most part, I actually encourage failure. What really bothers me about mentorship and our generation, and like how like we were like raised, was everybody just always, you know, it's so hard on mistakes, it's so hard on people making mistakes, it's so hard on people just like, you know, essentially just learning, because that's like the best teacher's experience for me. You know, there's nothing that I could have learned by just reading a book. You know, you kind of just have to get into it and make the mistakes, and the mistakes kind of help you push forward. Where I was watching a YouTube interview, and it was a Jason Jeter interview. Jason Jeter, for those who don't know, is he was T.I.'s partner some time back, and they built the whole Grand Hustle thing together. And, you know, he's just a very instrumental figure in hip hop, and, you know, more importantly for me was Atlanta hip hop. And, you know, he's just a very intelligent guy. And you know, I remember just like, you know, I was watching that interview, he was just talking about things that he liked and when he looked in for new artists or whatever. And I was just like, all right, cool. Like I watched it and I'm like, damn, this is like, I'm like the perfect match for him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my artist, the one that I got, is like perfect for him to sign that artist, right? So I go on YouTube, I go on Twitter, and I'm just kind of just monitoring just like what he's doing or whatever. And one day, like I got a call. There's a street in Atlanta called Peter Street, and there's a boutique called Fly Kicks. And I remember I got a call. My homie was like, yo, you've been talking about Jason Jeter a lot. Right now, he's like next to the store called Fly Kicks getting a haircut. Like, you should probably just pull up. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I come through, I have my mixtape demo, all that shit. And I walked up, and I'm just like standing outside, you know, just chilling, like just trying to act like very casual or whatever. So long story short, he finished getting a haircut, and he's walking outside, and when he walks outside, I'm like, yo, Jeter. And he's like, he looked back like, yo, like kind of like obviously didn't know who I was, kind of startled him or whatever. And he's like, and I was like, I have my elevator speech. I'm like, yo, my name is Justice. This is what I do. Da da da. I have this artist. I really think you love him. Da da da. He's like, oh, perfect, bet. Every time, like I'm like, oh shit. He said, bet. He said, all right, cool. Here's my email. Send it to me, and I'm gonna check it out, and I'm gonna hit you back. And I'm like, all right, bet. Like it's my time. Like we're on. But as soon as he gave me the email, like I emailed him right then and there. Like had the whole long paragraph. I'm sure I could find it. Had the whole long paragraph, and it was just like exactly who I was and what our goal was and what we're trying to do and what our vision was. I wrote this whole thing out, attached a couple tracks. We had this video that wasn't out yet. I copied the link, copy and pasted the link to the video, bang, and we figured that out. Sent it to him. Never heard anything back, right? Never heard anything back, and that shit crushed me. So I'm just like, fuck, bro, like. This is it. Like, if he doesn't want it, then who else would want it, right? This is it. So I'm just like, fuck. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Long story short, I didn't take that as an L. You know, I took that. I took it back, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what is it that what is it that I'm missing, right? And what a lot of people don't use is the idea of human nature to their advantage. Because when I say use the idea of human nature, it is more so understand that. In order for somebody to really pay attention to you, you need to be an asset to them more than you're asking for something, right? You need to be of use. Like you need to look at somebody and be like, yo, this is what I have and this is how it can help you versus, hey, can you give me something or like give me a handout? And so I was using the idea of like, yo, what is it that I'm missing and why is it that like I'm not getting where I need to get? And I realized that like, I needed the team. Like I couldn't do it on my own. Like the essence of team for me was so important, you know, for me that was just like the next step. That was just kind of like the most important part. I needed to surround myself with people with the same goals and the same ideas that was going to help me bring this to reality. So that was, you know, that was Carlin, that was Junior. Carlin did all the artwork and the creative stuff. Junior, at that time, he was working as like our PR person. He just was good at words or whatever. We didn't even know what that meant, but whatever. That was that, and Sean and Tunde, and that was our whole team. And for me, once we did that, and then we just worked, and we became an asset. And we put in all our money. Like I sold my car, Carlin sold all his shoes to shoot our first video, because it was just like, yo, like what do I feel like is missing in videos? And I felt like there was no cinematic video that depicted the land in a different way. And you know, we put in all our money and like we paid the director. I remember we paid him in like ones, and he was like, yo, these guys are drug dealers or whatever it is. And you know, we shot our first video, which was Rory's God's Whisper. And that video, like, you know, like just was just like it just exploded. It was just like one of those things that again showed ourselves as an asset, not asking for a handout and trying to figure out how to, you know, how to be more important or how to be more of use. And I feel like with that came, people understood our vision, people saw exactly what we're going for, and you know, the world kind of just began to open up. So I kind of took that experience as, you know, providing yourself and being an asset and using that to using human nature as, you know, as a tool or as a weapon, you know, in your arsenal. But anyways, long story short, you know, Jason Jeter's the homie now, and you know, he's a mentor. I never told him this story, but I definitely was gutted when it happened. But you know, that's just the beauty of like patience and full circle. And it's just like, and for new artists, you know, a lot of them, you know, always just feel like it's their time. It's like, no, like, you know, take the L's and figure out what you can do better and really understand exactly what you're not doing. Maybe you just don't have, you know, the right marketing. Maybe you just don't have the right visual. Maybe you just not even like in tune with whoever you're trying to talk to. Like all these different things are so important. And yeah, I think that's all I got.
Hi, I'm Malaysia. Yeah. Yep. So this is the real star right here.
It's not about being stars here. It's about inclusion.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, we're all stars.
There you go. Every nigga is a star.
Is a star.
Hey, every nigga is a star. Is a star. Hey. Also, one more thing is that like what new artists always fail to do is they always fail to like accept like the imperfections in the art, right? Every artist, well, a lot of artists are second doubters. They always doubt a lot, doubt everything. Like, yo, it's not good enough, or yo, it's not that. I'm just like, no, like, you gotta understand the beauty of coming up and the beauty of having like a real fan base is accepting that like there's beauty in the imperfections, right? And people want to grow with the imperfections. People don't want your first video to be the greatest video of all time. You know, people don't want your first song to be the first song of all time. But show growth. Show that you're actually growing and you're actually trying to better yourself, and listen to feedback and like, all right, cool, like, you know, like, not to say like give a fuck what other people think, but, you know, take it with a grain of salt. You know, like for me, like, I believe so hard, like I believe so hard in my gut, in myself, that sometimes, you know, it could be a little bit, it could rub people the wrong way, because like I just believe my vision and I believe what exactly is that I'm trying to do, that, you know, I might tune the world out. But what I realize is that sometimes you just need to like listen, and you need to be a student equally as you are, you know, a professional in the game, right? You need to just really listen and just like take in any and everything that like you might not like about yourself, and just like try to figure out how to make it better or how to make it work for you, more importantly. You know what I'm saying? Like Virgil had like this concept called like, you know, like the 3% approach, where it's just like, you know, again, where it's just like the imperfections make the beauty, you know, like the irony and all these things that help the idea of what it is to be art, or what it is to be like, you know, your contribution for the world. And for me, I really want new artists to really believe that, like, bro, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Not everything is going to be the best thing, but it's okay. Just grow from it and learn from it, and it'll get better. And like that also just ties into like being patient with yourself and being patient with the process. Everybody wants the fucking outcome to happen, and it's like, nah, you just haven't put enough hours. Like, nah, you're just not ready at the moment. If I thought that I was ready to get my first deal when I wanted to get my first deal, I'd have been fucked. I'd have been out before I even like got in. You know what I'm saying? Because not that many people like have longevity in the music industry, or just like entertainment at all. So like, you know, the more prepared you are, like the more on it you are, as far as just like accepting and acknowledging that, like, you know, there's more to learn and more to get better at, the better and the easier everything is going to become. So yeah, I mean, listen, I'm glad I didn't get a deal at 19, because I probably would have been back at Nordstrom's working, selling women's shoes, and that shit was trash. Nobody wants that.